Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning. It's your Monday market report for the week ending January 31st, 2021. As of today, it's February 1st, brand new month. Great Collections is back on the good old auction schedule after a very fun auction hosted by Heritage Auctions, the Florida United Numismatist Show. Always provides some really high quality pieces. We were able to talk about them last week. And this week we're back to more of the Great Collections items that sold, albeit a little bit more quieter. And that's usually typical preceding and after a big notable auction like the FUN show. But in this particular case, we do have a number of really nice coins to talk about. Now, for those of you that are brand new to the Monday Market Report, we typically kind of recap all of the more relevant post 1900 modern coins that have sold. Okay, the reason why this is just to kind of gauge the market. The market has been blisteringly hot here in the last, I would say, 8 to 12 months, and there's just no signs of stopping. I'm a firm believer that eventually we are going to see a slowdown, perhaps a snapback in prices, even though a lot of investors are getting into the collectibles market. Coins are certainly going to be one of those asset classes that are going to hold its value compared to any other collectibles out there. But we will see some correction at some point. Some have speculated the 24 to 36 month time frame. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is for that particular time frame. It might just be, we're out of the woods of COVID. The vaccinations are doing their job and people are going back to work. I don't know. We'll see. That again, it's all speculative, but that has kind of been the rumblings in the inner circles of the collectibles market. A 24 to 36 month snapback in all prices across the board. But anyways, we are going to go ahead and jump in to the coins. I want to thank you guys for your support of BlueRidgeSilverhound. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that good old bell for instant notifications. Coinaholics, are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and take a look and see what sold. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start it off with one of my favorite varieties. We have a 1994 Lincoln Memorial set. A good deal of the variety collectors out there know about this one, but there's probably a great deal more of people that don't flip over the 94 Philadelphia Lincolns to look for the DDR. All right, the doubled die reverse. This one will have the doubled columns right here. It's most notable on the right side of the memorial. You could see them within the bays, the extra columns. However, this particular piece is a really nice high-grade example. It's an NGC Mid-State 67 red, just an overall, really lustrous, beautiful looking coin, well preserved. This one sold for $1,049.62. All right, so we're going to jump all the way back to the earliest type pieces. We have a 1911D Lincoln wheat cent. And yes, there is a little bit of a die rotation on this one, not a whole lot. Probably about 25% counterclockwise rotation on the reverse. That's as posted in the actual slab. So I figured I'd just keep it, the way it looks on there. Pretty neat. It's a relatively minor error, but I think the big draw with this one is just a grade. This is a not only could be a investor type piece, but also one made and custom tailored for a registry set. This one here is a PCGS Mint State 66 red for the era. This is good as it gets, as far as overall color. I know it pales in comparison to the previous coin that we just looked at, where that one graded 67. This particular piece here sold for $2,167.88. Pretty nice. I would be happy with this piece in my collection. And everybody's favorite, I guess, type coin. I'm trying to figure out the word to describe the 1909 Lincoln wheat cent with the VDB reverse initials. You can see it right here. It's kind of like I'm not going to say it's like a 1 year type piece because it's a truly unique offering by the U.S. Mint at the time. People were not happy with the fact that Victor David Brenner put his initials in big old letters on the reverse. Now it doesn't seem like it's big, but it's big enough that that people certainly did not like it. All right, they didn't want sculptors, artists to be prominently displayed on their monetary system in any way at the time. So a very small amount of these were made in comparison to some of the other dates. I believe it was like 19 million and some odd change. VDB 1909s that were made. Now this one's really nice, and something that you want to keep in mind that a lot of these 1909 VDBs were preserved in high condition rates. So finding a lot of these, mint state red brown reds. I mean, this one is a 67, but if you needed like that mint state 64 or 65 with nice luster, those can be attained for a somewhat reasonable cost. Now, this one right here is a really nice high-grade example, although there are other pieces that grade higher. This one sold for $1,129.15. I've seen a few of these reach, I guess, mid-state 68, 68 plus as the top pop. But again, if you're looking to put together any sort of collection in your lifetime, this is generally one of those go-to pieces that everybody strives to own, and it's very affordable, okay, and even in some of the highest grades. All right, so we have a number of nickels. Nickels actually took the show this week from Great Collections. There's a lot of nice pieces. This particular piece right here is a 2005D Bison reverse. Now this one right here is a coin that you should be looking for. It's on a Denver, strange enough. This one has a die scratch or a gouge that goes right through the buffalo. This one has been affectionately referred to as the speared bison type. It's in the Cherry Picker's Guide. It's referred to as VP 001 as a catalog type number. But this one right here, a lot of folks have come away with these in BU rolls. There are still BU rolls out there to search through in order to find stuff like this. Now, people covet the higher grade examples. This one's pretty good. Although I believe there has been a mid-state 67, 67 plus, I believe is the top grade for this speared bison type. This one right here, however, is an NGC mid-state 66. This is an incredibly valuable variety if you could find it. This particular coin right here is sold for $590.62 as an example. If you were able to find one that maybe grades out a 66 plus, maybe it's in a PCGS slab, or a 67, that is a coin that sells for thousands of dollars just for what it is. This is kind of like the, what do you call it? The Speared Eagle sack dollar from 2000. Same thing. In high grades, it's an incredibly valuable coin. There are less of the speared bisons out there than there are the speared eagles. But they're the same thing. They're both die gouges on there. But yeah, definitely look out for something like this. These still can be found. Under closer magnification, you'll have better success. Okay, so as we know, there was no proof sets made from 65 all the way to 67. So it's a 3-year kind of gap where there's no proof sets and no mint sets. So the U.S. Mint had produced what they called an SMS, a special mint set. It's kind of like a mashup of a proof set and a mint set put together. All right, the U.S. Mint had said, you know what, back in 64, we're not going to do any more proof sets for the foreseeable future. It really got the collectibles or the coin collecting community up in arms about it. So the U.S. Mint last minute decided, okay, well, let's go ahead and scrap something together, and this is the byproduct. Okay, so the SMS generally would look more satiny, more business strikey, if that makes any sense at all. But this one right here has incredible deep cameo or ultra cameo devices offset by some of the more black mirrored fields, which is usually something you don't see. Maybe less than 1% of the entire run of SMS coins from 65 to 67 actually show as kind of like a proof-like coin, like this one. This one right here sold for $2,313. Quite an important coin for its era. If you're looking to come away with, a complete set of proof coins with cameo designation for the 60s, of course, you can't overlook the 65 to 67 SMS coins. All right, so one of my favorite generations of nickels, it's going to be the silver Wartimes. A lot of these coins are very well struck, so finding them well struck is actually more easier than not. This is a 1945p, one of the more common dates out of the short 4-year series. However, this one is one of the desirable double die reverses that you hear so much about. Okay, it's not quite 39 strong, but this one is pretty strong all in its own right. This is also the FS 803 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. And this one grades out Mint State 65 full stepper. Just an overall pleasing example of this variety type. Again, you guys take a look at like the last few letters of Monticello, 5 cents right here, and some of the other devices along this area here where you're going to see the strongest spread of doubling. This one right here is sold for $1,119.38. Not a variety, but boy, this coin is beautiful. This is a stunning high-grade 1944D wartime silver nickel. Again, these are 35% silver manganese alloys. Again, this is another effort by the U.S. to conserve nickel for the war efforts. This one right here is a PCGS Mint State 67 Plus full steps, and boy, does it look the part. This one right here also displays some pretty original toning, which is easy to find on the wartime silvers, only because silver tarnishes a lot faster and quicker than regular good old nickel. This one sold for $1,472.62. There are Mint State 68s, and I believe 68 Plus is the top pop of this coin that achieves, higher four figures and into the 5-figure range. Just an overall beautiful coin. I have a feeling that this is more registry set material than anything else. And then we have a 39, one of my favorite types because this one exhibits the reverse of 1940, and what that is it has a different design of the steps here, along with other strengthening of the design of Monticello. But on this particular type, you have straighter steps, and then you also have kind of like the cutoff line on the ends, whereas the reverse of 38s have the wavy steps, which doesn't look quite as polished, and then sometimes it's just really hard to find full steps of that reverse type. But this one is a huge coin. It's a Mint State 68 5 full stepper by NGC. All right, so NGC does designate a 5 full steps and a 6 full steps. This one is a very important coin to a registry set, and I'm happy to say that this one sold for $2,695.13. Quite a bit of money. I've seen them much more expensive. I believe that if this was a 68 full steps and a PCGS slab, that's more than likely a $5,000 to $7,000 coin right there. All right, we have some pretty huge Buffalo nickels. We have a few of them. We're going to start it off with a 1921 Philadelphia Buffalo. Just one of the nicest looking coins I've seen in quite some time. The strike is hammered, which is unusual for this particular era of Buffalo nickel. Usually in the 20s, the strike is, a little bit less desired, across the board. And again, that's just a sign of the times, Great Depression. Quality was a little bit lackluster all throughout the different various denominations of U.S. coins. This one right here is a PCGS Mint State 67 Plus. It's also CAC backed, so it's got that little green bean on there. This one sold for a white hot $23,061.38. If money is no object and you are a registry set person, then this is probably the coin for you. But I'll be honest, this is a coin that if I were putting together a really nice portfolio of investment pieces, this one would probably fit in just nicely as well. And same goes for the 1915D, a lot tougher date. Furthermore, the teens branch mint coins, the Denvers and San Franciscos, are always a lot more tougher. These coins just didn't really survive all that much, in higher grades. But this one right here is a Mint State 67, which is the cream of the crop, as they would say, when it comes to coins of this nature. You're hard-pressed to find anything quite like it. Maybe a coin like this pops up on the auction circuit maybe once, twice a year. That's how infrequently these come up. But if you do have it, keep in mind that this is a very valuable coin in this particular mint state status. This one here is sold for $19,518.75. Really beautiful coin. I love any high grade type of Buffalo nickel, all the way, from 1913 type ones all the way up to 38. I think they're all fantastic. We have a few quarters, and then that's going to wrap it up for us on the good old MMR. We have a 63, again, just a tough date. The quality on these were generally lackluster at the time, and that's why finding high grades of this ilk, is pretty tough. It's a difficult task. This one right here exhibits a little bit of toning on the obverse. It's also CAC backed. This one sold for $1,569.38. The toning is above and beyond way more superior compared to the previous coin. Again, another tough date, 60 Denver. In higher grades, 67 and up, you're talking a true rarity. This one gets probably some extra bonus points because of the toning, and the graders will adjust, as appropriate. This one right here is a beautiful coin, probably more than likely heading to a registry set. Sold for $3,125.25. Above and beyond, probably one of my favorite coins on the list, based on eye appeal alone. This one is definitely not my favorite based off of eye appeal alone. Now, this is a 54. This is a Philadelphia struck coin. A very, very common date in high grades. If you were looking to add a mint state type coin that's raw into your Washington quarter set, I mean, this is a coin that could be had for around $7 to $8. Very affordable. However, when you get into the highest high grades, like this particular example is a Mint State 67 plus through PCGS. The toning, albeit, is probably not on the top level of everybody's favorite coloration. This is a coin that most people would dip, to be honest with you. But believe it or not, retaining the patina, the original patina of a coin like this on something like this is incredibly important to its value. All right, to give you an idea, this one brought home $1,830.61. And keep in mind, toning does add some extra bonus points, some brownie points to the graders. Okay, the eye appeal helps enhance a coin's grade. So if the technical grade without the toning is a 67, the toning might add a half a point designation. Keep that in mind. That's important, and that'll enhance the value further. Here's another pleasing coin, this time with a little bit more of a light pastel-y type of toning. 51D, again, another common date, a coin that could be had for around $10 if you needed one. Of course, when it's graded much like this, 67 plus, and it's also CAC backed. This is a completely different story. This one here is sold for $2,701.12. And that leaves us with the last coin on the list. Another beautiful toner. It looks a little bit dark, but I think with the color type and the light pastel type of colors, this one has more of kind of like an outer space, Milky Way nebulous feel to it. This one is beautiful, but I think the pictures are perfect to help, really drive the price of this one at the end of the day. If, me personally, I can't take true view photography, much like some of these auction houses. And PCGS alone, their true views are second to none. They have quite the photo setup booth. But this coin right here, man, I fell in love with this coin the moment I looked at it. And quite personally, if I owned the coin, I'd probably own the pictures too. They would go in my personal archives if I did own it. This one right here, Mid State 68. When you get into Washington quarters of the 40s, a lot of them are generally well struck and exhibit high quality. So finding like Mid State 66s and 67s for under $100, very attainable. I would say more the 66s than the 67s. But this one right here by NGC is second to none. And I'm happy to say that we're going to end it off on a coin that sold for $3,487.50. Just a truly monumental example of a coin that if you were just going to pick just one Washington quarter to own in your lifetime that's a high grade and very expensive, this one might be it. Keep in mind, it's not a 32D or an S or any rare variety. This is just a good old homegrown San Francisco minted quarter with a lot of beautiful color. And that is going to go ahead and do it for us for this month. I'm going to do the final actual Blue Ridge Bounty video a little bit later this afternoon, along with the announcement on how you can win the cash. All right, so stay tuned for that. It's a day late, but that's okay. I had a lot of things going on this weekend, but we'll go ahead and do that last video. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to try and break through on that one. It was certainly a pleasure talking about coins with you this week. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the instant notifications. And again, Coinaholics, we are discovering together every day. Would love to hear your thoughts on this week's MMR report. It was nice, pleasing. Not a lot of particularly high expensive coins, and that was expected. Coming off the FUN show from O-Town. Well, it's supposed to be in O-Town, Orlando. But, because of COVID, that all got squashed. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and do it. You guys have a wonderful Monday. Don't work so hard. And I will see you on the next coin video. Take care.